Hey everyone, I'm Kayla. In this video, I'm going to discuss the difference between rejection and migration. Let's first define migration. According to Google, migration is a movement from one part of something to another. In my helix video, I believe it was, I showed an example of a piercing that was not downsized and it was slept on and then the jewelry migrated. I'll put another picture here to show you guys. This is what migration is. Migration is when a piercing is pierced and then the jewelry kind of shifts from the original placement. So an example would be if you got braces on your teeth or a retainer in general. The retainer kind of shifts your body as it grows and moves into a different placement. That's kind of what migration is like. So if you have a piercing and you sleep on it and you add consistent pressure in one direction, then your piercing will start from one place and kind of move day after day into another place. So that is migration. Let's define rejection. Rejection is when the body, as it's healing, expels the jewelry completely. So the Google definition is the dismissing or refusing of a proposal, idea, etc. So basically your body is refusing the jewelry. As it's healing, it's pressing the jewelry out. This is most common in navel piercings, where the skin between the top and bottom balls gets thinner and thinner, and eventually the body just dispels the jewelry. Most rejection is pretty painless because it's a slow process, but sometimes if the skin is really thin, the jewelry can be snagged and it can tear out. An example of migration and rejection is when ladies wear heavy earrings. You can notice that they develop a line in their ear because their earrings are heavy. So the weight of the earring is pulling down, it's migrating the jewelry down, and then a rejection would be a complete tear through. You can have migration without having rejection. That's where it kind of gets tricky. Like the example I showed you with the helix piercing, you can have the migration, but there's no rejection. There's no real place where the jewelry can be expelled. With a navel piercing, you have both of these. You have the migration where the skin between the two balls gets smaller, which sometimes can be fixed with just putting in a shorter piece of jewelry. That way it doesn't get snagged and pulled on constantly. That can correct the migration. But if this is not the case, then you can have a complete rejection where the entire piece of jewelry is expelled from the body. So you can have migration without rejection, but you can't really have a rejection without migration. Most piercings are susceptible to migration, but not all of them can be rejected. Most surface piercings, such as the navel, the nape of the neck, even some dermals, have a pretty high likely chance of migration. Not all of them lead to rejection, but sometimes eventually it does. The best way to avoid migration or rejection, well, migration starting out, the best thing to do is to make sure that you replace your longer stud with a shorter one eventually after the swelling has gone down. Return to your piercer and get a checkup if you're ready, if you think you're ready for a shorter barbell or stud. The best way to catch it before it gets any worse is just to keep an eye on your piercings. You should be cleaning them daily, so if you notice anything strange or maybe something's a little bit off, talk to your piercer and get their opinion. And that's all I have for rejection and migration. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. And I'll see you, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.